that was sort of the origin, and the origin was just an interdisciplinary group of students who were just trying to figure out how to solve the problems. And then, because we had gathered so much, and because we started disseminating it, and we found out there was just a lot of people internationally that were looking for information about this. So what we did is we just kept gathering more information, and we needed it to do a good job of what we were doing. And so in the process, we figured if this is useful to us, it's going to be useful to somebody else. And so we would package it up and disseminate it. And so one of the best things we did was that, because it really enabled so many other people to learn and to get going. And I guess it's probably one of the things that we were known for.
Mm-hmm.
So the first 10 years of my life were all spent in this area of, we used to call it, you know, alternative communication or non-vocal communication. And about this time, it turned out that we actually were finding out that speech pathologists were being fired for using communication boards because they were speech pathologists. And if they used a communication board, they were practicing outside of their profession. They're not supposed to do surgery, they're not supposed to do anything else, they're supposed to do what they're trained for. And so we looked at this, and we found that people who were given communication boards did not communicate less. They didn't speak less, and they didn't speak more poorly. In fact, they got used to communicating, and so they would communicate more. And they would always try to speak first, because it's so much faster than using these godforsaken communication boards as compared to speech. And they were more relaxed. If you have somebody with cerebral palsy and they're trying to say something and they know they either get it or they don't and they fail, it's really much harder for them than if they know, I'll try and speak. If I fail, I'll use the communication board. So their speech was better. And so I published a book, and in it I said that we should call this augmentative communication. And then I found out augmentative wasn't a word. So changed it to augmentative. And so the chapter went out and it said we ought to call this augmentative communication because it augments, doesn't replace speech. And the word stuck. And it actually came to be part of the name of our field.